Hey, tonight everybody on Real Bites, we're going to do something that I'm a huge fan of. We're going to make some gumbo. Stick around here and I'm going to show you how. I just want to show you, this is the original recipe here that I printed off so many years ago that I used for my base recipe, and we've changed it over the years. You can see all the little grease stains, and it looks like it almost caught on fire a couple times. We got some notes jotted down in there. So that tells you how many years that we've been doing this. But we got a bunch of ingredients here. This is not all inclusive. I'm going to put the list of the ingredients down in the description below, so you'll be able to see that. Tonight we're going to have to do a lot of stuff at the stovetop, so we're going to go ahead and get over there right now. We've got our 1/3 of a cup of oil in here, and I'm going to add in, we've chopped up 2 12-ounce packs of smoked sausage. We're going to go in. Oh, I made a foul there. We're just going to let those brown. All right, so this has been going about 5 minutes. You can see that's starting to brown up pretty nice. All right, these are good and browned up. I'm going to go ahead and take them off, set them to the side. So the trick is not to eat 5 or 6 pieces of this while you're cooking it. All right, we'll set that to the side. So the next thing we've got 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that we sliced up. They're just going to go right in on top. And we're going to brown these up. While these are browning, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in some pepper and some salt. You're just going to do this to taste. Measure with your heart on this one. The reason we want all the water to cook out of this is because we're going to remove the chicken, and then this is the pan that we're going to make our roux in. So we're just going to use oil and butter and flour for that. All right, if you can hear that sizzle, water's starting to cook out of this, that you can see. We'll be just a couple more minutes and then we'll be ready with this. It'll be time to make our roux. Okay, it looks like we got this chicken cooked down. Starting to brown a little bit. We can see we cooked all the moisture out of the skillet that came from the chicken. And I don't know if you noticed from the bowl earlier, but it looks like some gremlins have been in this bowl of smoked sausage. So I had my back turned to it. It's a critical mistake, but we're going to go ahead and get this chicken out. While we're sitting this out, make sure to tell you, sometimes you crank the heat up pretty high when you're browning this chicken. When you make the roux, you want to be careful not to scorch it. Now, knock on wood, I've never really done that before. However, I don't want to start tonight. So make sure that your oil is at a medium temperature, no higher. All right. So we got a few little nummy bites down in the bottom of that skillet. That's going to be just fine. I'm going to set this aside. We're going to get our flour and our butter in. Now, making gumbo is a labor of love. It takes some time to get this right. It takes a while to make this roux, but I'll show you how I do it. I don't know if it's the proper way, but I think it's pretty darn good. So I've got a half a cup of flour here that we're just going to add in. And we're going to stir this around. Oops. Then we're going to add in, I hope we've got about 3 teaspoons of butter there. That's what I'm usually shooting for. We're going to melt that in. Just going to stir this. And it's constant stirring because you don't want anything to burn. Now what I normally do when I get to this point is I kind of judge it by eye. See if I need to add a little more flour. And it looks like in this case, we're going to need to add a little bit more. So I'm just going to get in there with a couple more tablespoons. There's one in. And we'll go in with one more. And this is just constant stirring at this point. All right, you can see this starting to tighten up a little bit. And we'll continue to do that. And then it'll loosen. So it kind of goes through a couple of phases. And as long as you don't scorch this, the longer you cook it, the better it's going to be. A lot of times it'll go about 20 minutes till we get the color that we like. All right, while I'm stirring this, I've got a pot beside my skillet here. And I'm going to go ahead and start sweating some of the vegetables down. I got 3 tablespoons of butter. And I got the Holy Trinity here. So we got celery, we got bell pepper, and we got onion. And I'm just going to add these to the pot. So I did 2 bell peppers because they were on the smaller side. If they were on the bigger, you could get by with 1. I did 4 stalks of celery. And I've got a whole onion that's diced. You get that added right in. If you're of the persuasion to have a cold beverage, right about now would be a good time for a barley pop. Because you're going to be standing over this skillet just stirring away for a few minutes. All right, so you can see that roux, how it tightened up. Now it's loosened up pretty good. Got some of those nummy bits that came out of the bottom of the skillet there. They're just mixing right in. That's not going to hurt a thing. That's just going to add flavor. All right, so we're going to break away from this shot for a minute. I'm going to show you what we got going on in the other pot. But I'm not going to quit stirring this while this roux is cooking. Actually, I am. I'm going to find one of these gremlins to come in here and stir this for me while I'm working. All right, while we're working on our roux, you can see our vegetables in the pot. We got our Trinity in there with that butter. Now we're just going to toss in the Pope. Now I like to be generous with my Pope, so I'm going to put in 3 very nice teaspoons of crushed garlic. Maybe a little more than that, just because. All right, 3 teaspoons or tablespoons. I got my fingers down in the jar. I got them dirty, so I was getting to the bottom of this jar. Luckily, we have backups. To this, I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. or Worcestershire, or however you say it. All right, so we got this going good. I'm going to go ahead and add in a couple of tablespoons of some Frank's Red Hot Sauce. This is an optional step, but you'd be silly if you didn't put it in there. All right, we're going to let this sit, percolate for a minute. While it does, we're going to jump back over. We're going to look at a roux. All right, look at that roux. Kind of getting almost a peanut butter color now. We're liking what's happening. Feeling pretty satisfied about it. And just for the record, we've been going on this for about 12 minutes. So I think we got about 6 or 8 more minutes, and hopefully we'll be close. But it'll let us know when it's ready. Until then, we're just going to stir. All right, so I'm liking the way this is looking. This is just shy of 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the heat off here on this. I'm going to pause for just a minute. We're going to transition our camera over to a pot, and we'll start adding all this together. All right, we can see we got our Trinity and our other stuff cooked up real nice. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to find myself a pot holder so I don't burn myself. We're going to transfer this roux over into this pot. Now, folks, this is, I heard it called Cajun napalm one time, so it will definitely burn you if it gets on your skin, so do be careful. Get all that added in. Oh my goodness. I don't know if y'all believe me or not, but I'm telling you, if you could smell this, it'd change your life. All right, that is coming together just nice. Now we're going to get in here. We got 2 cans of stewed tomatoes that we're going to add. We want to keep this kind of warm while we're going through this step. Meanwhile, we've got our okra. We've got it in a colander over here that we're rinsing it out and getting ready to add it to the pot. Again, we want to keep this hot while we're cooking. So we're going to let it warm back up. As it's warming up, we're going to start adding in some water. We're going to get in a total of 4 cups. All right, so now we got all of our water added in. We're going to add in, I usually use 6 of the beef bouillon cubes or this bouillon beef paste. So I'm going to add that in there. Get us a couple tablespoons in there. Now this is pretty salty, so that's why you don't add a whole lot of salt to the chicken when you're cooking it. But it's also going to add a lot of rich flavor into that. We're going to add in, that's 12 ounces of frozen cut okra. We usually rinse it. Now the okra is going to, some people don't like okra, but this is going to be in here. It's in my opinion, critical to the dish. It's also going to help thicken things up a little bit, and you're going to love the result. To this, I'm going to add 4 teaspoons dried parsley, and then we're going to add our chicken and what's left of our smoked sausage back in here. This is smelling incredible. I wish you were here so I could share a bowl with you. As I said, this is a labor of love. You're not going to throw this together in a half hour and have everything ready. Total prep time, it's going to take you probably a couple of hours to get all this where you need to be. But I'm telling you that it's worth it. So we're just going to let this simmer. It's going to ride for about 45 minutes as is. And I'm going to take the producer for a walk. And then after I get back from the walk, we're going to add our shrimp in, let it cook for a few minutes, and we should be pretty much ready to eat. Here we are. We've been simmering about 45, 50 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Stir this up. Look at that. Yummy goodness. That okra is getting soft, also acting as a thickener. Good reminder, if you haven't yet done so, it's time to go ahead and cook you some white rice if you'd like it to go along with your dish. We're going to add about a half a pound of shrimp. Now, usually I use a smaller shrimp, but this is what I could find today, so this is what we got. I'm going to add that in. That will cook in about 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll be ready to eat. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes. We got our gumbo, got our shrimp cooked in, added in some rice in there. Can't wait to taste this. Give it a try. And maybe I'll eventually get a try. Still nice and hot. There's a richness to that roux. The smoked sausage has a nice flavor to it. Everything's just perfect. The only thing that it really needs is you might add a little extra hot sauce if you like a little extra kick, or your favorite beverage to add beside it. We got to go so I can finish eating this. Before I go, I do want to say one thing. We're getting close to the holidays. It can be kind of tough for some people. So if you can, you have the opportunity to maybe donate a little to your food bank in your local community. Please do so. If you can't do that, just remember, it doesn't cost a penny to be kind. Till we see you next time, have a good one.